So we are back, guys. So all in filler basically this is going to be. So we're obviously doing the all in series with Harry. So I just wanted to do some little bits behind the scenes, like in between those episodes. So just kind of being a little bit more raw, a little bit more me talking, and like kind of just going through like training, more training footage, a bit more posing, like behind the scenes, the food, the cooking, like the supplements and so on, and just giving a little bit more, just so there's not a massive gap of having to wait like 2-3 weeks in between shoots and so on like that. So we're just in the car. We filmed last Friday, so this will probably be out before then. And we're just in the car now, just sipping on some pre. So we got this superhuman pump, and the blueberry mojito absolutely bangs. I swear it's got some nootropics in it, so it feels, you get like no stim from the caffeine, so it's great if you're training in the evening. I've had like a couple of coffees already today. So this is got no caffeine in it, but has some nootropic values in there, so it just makes you feel, gets me switched on a little bit. Also, it's got some pump formula in there, so always good when you can get a pump, especially in prep, because you're going to be running flat for a lot of the time. So if you can get some sort of pump volume, just to get some like blood into the muscles, get a pump, get a mind-muscle connection, it makes you feel like you're not like a little child, basically. So yeah, so I'm just going to nail that, finish that off, get my intro made, and then it's push day. So enjoy, guys. So we are in for push B. So normally I'd have a cable chest press, but my Cybex Bravo is out at the moment, so we're getting new cables for that at the end of this week. So we're going to do a flat press that converges and comes across, trying to get that bicep across that chest. And then we've got a lateral raise. We're going to go on the Life Fitness lateral raise, and then we've got a high incline Smith press, and then dips, dual rope tricep extension, and then some dumbbell side lateral raises just to finish off and absolutely annihilate it. So let's get into it. Let's lift something heavy. Yeah, that's feeling good. So we will probably now go try 3.5, and then maybe go for 4. I've been playing around 4 plates with this prep. Obviously, the goal is now not to try and hold on, try and get PBs and so on like that. If they're there, we'll take them, obviously. But if I can hold on to strength as much as possible, and that's going to keep that muscle nice and full going into the stage and so on like that. I think the big thing is people think like, oh, you're going to get weak, so you just have to get the weight down all the time. Nah. You do not want to be doing that. You want to be still fighting for those reps as much as you can and holding on to that tissue as much as possible. Yes, we're not gaining anything anymore, but why would we want to try and lose more than we could? So let's try and create as much stimulus as possible, because that stimulus that created it right at the start in that gaining phase is what we're going to need to maintain and keep that much of that muscle on as possible. So let's go for a 10 each side, see how that feels, then hopefully go for a second plate. Yeah, let's go for 4. Let's find a song that gets me hyped up. Let's get a deep breathing through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's fucking go for it. Whew. 8 reps, not too bad. Not too bad at all. What's this? What's Louis got in his hand? Louis got his intro workout in his hand. So what do I put in there? I normally put, so at the moment it'd be different depending on what phase I'm in. So if I'm in a diet phase or a gaining phase, this will change quite a bit. So now I'm in a diet phase, I've literally just got EAAs, 15 grams of EAAs in here, 7 grams of creatine, and 1 gram of electrolytes in there as well, just to keep me hydrated and restore my electrolyte balance, because it is hotter, it's summer, so we need to replenish this as much as possible. If I was in a gaining phase, the only difference that I'd have and added into here is cyclic dextrin, which is just a carb powder, which is good for making you be able to go on a little bit longer in those sessions because you've got carbs throughout your session. And also, if you're trying to get your calories up, also a good way of getting extra calories in whilst you're working out, because sometimes it could be 2 hours without eating, and then you've got to cram all your food in beforehand. So if you're struggling to get your food in, or you're starting to get more advanced in training, get yourself some EAAs, and definitely look into what can I put in my intra-workout shake to help me through my workout. You can't introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Katie, and I am the owner of the Zone Canning.
Fuck off. That's my lovely girlfriend, making herself well known. Normally you can hear her before she gets in front of the camera. But anyway, we're going to do second exercise. We're doing a lying cuff, not a lying cuff lateral. We're going to do just a standing lateral. So what we're going to do here, the big importance when we're doing a lateral raise, is we want to start our arm at like a 15-degree angle, okay? Because if we're starting from this position here and then cuffing up, going across our arm, trying to get as much range of motion, we're actually not using our side lateral. We're actually going to be using a little bit of our supraspinatus, and it can cause a bit of an injury if we put loads of weight from there. So if you're getting problems with your shoulders when you're doing laterals, start at a 15-degree angle, okay, from your arm, and let's just come in back up, nice and controlled, back to that 15-degree angle, and straight back up. So with those, because sometimes I find with side laterals, when you're on like a cable machine, the weight increments can be a bit too high for a jump up with it. So I've got these little gym pins just here, so I can literally add, like I think they only weigh a kilo as well, so I can literally go for a little bit lighter than I probably would do, then add a 1.25 on there, and it's just perfect for those small increments. So if you're really struggling with your laterals and there's like a massive jump, get these gym pins, and they're really worth it as well. Just at the end of that as well, just did some little partials just to get as much blood into those side delts, just to finish it off. So all these little intensifiers, they add up. But you don't want to be doing too many so early on, like every set going into it, because you're just going to fatigue really quickly. And then by the time you get to your near latter part of your session, you're going to be so pooped that you can't put any effort into those last exercises. So this next exercise that we're going on to a high incline Smith reverse band. This Smith machine is ridiculously heavy, and I find like it gets harder as it comes to the bottom, so that's why we've got a reverse band on it. It's not like the strength curve of it, the strength profile of this machine is not equal the whole way through. So a little reverse band on there just to take that tension in that last bit. Also, I've got like a little bit of a side delt like rough issue that I've had for the last 4 weeks. Like no tendon issues. I've had like some dry needling and stuff, and it sorts it out for a bit, but I think the only way that's going to get better is if I post-show, when I take about a week off or whatever like that. So yeah, just got that reverse band in there a little bit. I do want to get a Cybex Smith, which I've been looking for ages. And if anyone knows about them, they are literally like the GOAT of Smith machines. So smooth, and just, yeah, they are literally unreal. So yeah, if your Smith machine's a bit sticky, try using a reverse band just to help you out a little bit. Yeah, let's see what we get with this one then, eh? Maybe too many intensifiers, but what we're going to try for, I'm literally going to go for maybe a 2.5 today. Normally I'd go for like a just close to shy of 2 plates. I'm very weak at this exercise, but yeah, let's get some volume in there. Let's get like up to that 12, let's get up to that 10 range. Let's go for a 2.5 added on. And I'll tell you what I am gonna get after this. I am definitely getting some chalk on my hands because that bar is feeling slippery as hell. So BRB. Right, we are chalked up people, so we are ready to go. So all that there is now to do is get some tunes on and get ourselves ready. I'll tell you what I am excited for. This weekend, me and my good friend Jack, shout out Jack Blakely if you're watching this, who I coached last year. You've probably seen him in these series as well. We're going to watch Oppenheimer on the weekend, so 3 hours long. So that's going to be, I'm going to be taking some food and I'm going to be getting a couple of Tango Ice Blasts as well as, yeah, I think I'm going to get 2 of them at least. But that'd be cool. Like with prep, you can make your prep what you want it to be. You can become an absolute robot and hate everyone and say, oh, this is so hard, oh, am I doing this, blah, blah, blah. But you have a choice to do prep. Like everyone has a choice. You are so fortunate to prep. Like there is hundreds of people, hundreds of millions of people that can't afford to eat, that are struggling to get food, and you've got the opportunity to put away food and diet down and do bodybuilding, which is a very extreme sport and a luxury sport. Like no one's forcing you to do prep. So enjoy it while you can, because when you look back on this, you'll love, like if you are into this, you'll love it and you'll relish into it. And when you're old and grey, like you can look back on it and think, wow, that was wicked. But just remember how fortunate you are to do this. So a couple of times I felt like my mindset's going a little bit funny, and I thought, nah, Louis, you need to sort yourself out. Instead of like being dreading cardio, think this session right now is going to absolutely get me shredded to fuck to go on stage. This is going to get me one step closer. Like, look at the positive of every situation. Oh, it's raining. Yeah, but the weather like will be better tomorrow, and it's just rain. Like, what I can do other stuff. Like, I still go out and get steps if I need to. Like, I just go on a treadmill if I need to. So stop getting yourself like annotated with that prep is horrendous. Why am I doing this? Because you are choosing to do this. Okay, you don't have to be a cunt and an asshole to everyone. Like, do stuff with your partner. Go out and do stuff. It will keep your mind at ease. You'll relax more, you'll be less stressed, and in turn that will give a better look to the physique. So yeah, chill, enjoy it. Like, I'll probably be regretting this and be a little bit different in like 5 weeks time when I'm getting closer and closer to the stage, but I'm still making time to do stuff and I'm making the most of it, you know? Like, it's still summer, like it'll be dark in winter soon, so I'm still going out and doing stuff. Anyway, let's get massive. Yeah, we didn't get that, but we tried, didn't we? That's the main thing. Too busy thinking about Oppenheimer and those Tango Ice Blasts. God, they're like crack. Although I failed that last rep, which when you're training solo is, you've got to take this into consideration. Like, when you're training solo, like, you're in a gym, there's an element of risk. So choose exercises that are preferable to someone that's training solo compared to having a partner there to spot you. So for example, if I did an incline barbell right now and I was failing on that rep, there's only one way that's going to go, and it's not going to work well. So change that into a Smith machine where you can almost self-spot yourself, and if you do fail, you can just rack it back in, or use machines. Like, you don't have to use barbell stuff. Like, if anything, I haven't used barbells, flat bench, incline bench, squats, deadlifts for a couple of years, because I've just been mainly training solo. Also, there's better exercises that are set up for me, and not everyone's designed to do them, and they're not sometimes the best for hypertrophy. So I do other things like dumbbells, or I'll use a Smith machine or machines. I love my machines. They're absolutely expertly designed for you to get the best contraction. They're made for people so they can get the optimal out of that exercise and get the most out of that exercise for your chest development or your back development and so on. So use machines, don't be afraid of them, unless you're like a powerlifter, then you know that's the only options that you've got and that's what you're training to do. But yeah, use a Smith machine. It's a lot safer for yourself than trying to fail on an incline and then having that weight stuck there and screaming for help and look like a wally, or even, which wouldn't actually happen. But yeah, right, so this back off, I'm taking 10 kilos off each side, try and get a few more reps on it. Like I said, I'm taking my back offs a little bit more, being a bit more aggressive with taking the weight off of the back offs now, just because I want to make sure that like I'm getting a higher rep range off that second set. So we've done our main chest exercises. We're now doing a tricep press. Like it's like a dip, but mainly like thighs, tricep, bicep, bias. An exercise I got wrong for a very long time. And the big issue that I used to do, I used to try and replicate this exercise like I was doing on an actual normal dip, having my elbows flared, which would then in turn bring in a lot of chest focus. So twisting my hands in, bringing my elbow in line with my wrist, and just coming back like that, like a piston almost moving in an engine. And I get a lot more tricep emphasis here. So yeah, just, I don't know what to do that for next rep, to be honest. I did the stack for 12. I might put the gym pin in and go for 5 kilos. Yeah, I'm gonna add a 5 kilos, maybe go for like a lower rep range. Then I'm gonna go for a lower rep range on this one. I definitely find in prep now, like my training has become very intuitive. Not forgot, but I'm not logging anymore. And I started that right from the get-go from prep, like I stopped logbooking. I think there's a time and a place for it. Like I'm a big logger, like I for years have been preaching about logbooking, and I think from going from a beginner to an intermediate is a very, very good tool to use. And I think logbooking is so important because it keeps you on top of things, it gives you that accountability, friendly competition and so on. But it can become also a bit of a downfall because you're making sure you're basically relying that every variable is the same every time you go into the session, and that's not always the case. You might have slept poor, you might not have been as hydrated, you might have had some stress going on and so on like that. So that would affect your logbooking, and you get so worked up about those sets, you can always get anxiety. And I used to get anxiety before leg day, like shit, I've got to beat that number on a hack squat, and it would almost panic me. So I will definitely logbook again in the off season, just to gauge strength and know where I'm at, because I want to progress and get stronger, obviously, and that is the goal. And I can deter if I had a poor night's sleep and know when to push it and when to pull it back a little bit. But I think in a diet phase, when you're going to lose strength, regardless if you're assisted or if you're a natural athlete, you're going to lose strength at some point, like a bit later down the line for an assisted person. But I've come away from it and I've just gone to being intuitive with it a little bit more, going to like failure. And if I know that I'm absolutely wrecked or I've had a poor night's sleep, I'm going to leave one in the tank potentially, just to help with my recovery. And that's been a really good thing in prep. Like I've had to do only one deloader right at the start of prep, and we haven't had to do one yet. Like there probably is one coming just before we get nearer, but yeah, I haven't had to do it. So train smart. Like you don't have to be married to the logbook, okay? It's a good tool, but in a diet phase, be intuitive, and if you know your body well, go with your gut instinct on it, okay? So yeah. Anyway, let's get this gym pin on. Oh. 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 Well, that was heavy. Couldn't even get it down. Needed to get a strap on, didn't I? I need to rephrase that better. Some sort of seatbelt, not strap on. Fucking hell, Louis. Stop taking testosterone, mate. It's destroying your brain. So you probably just saw there, literally using the smallest amount of weight, 7.5 kilos. And an exercise, I think, like laterals get butchered so much. You got to think, like, when you're doing side lateral, like, it's only a small little muscle group. So when you've got like a 15 or 20 kilos and you're throwing it up, are you actually using your side lateral gear, or are you potentially using your traps, momentum, or anything you can to get that weight up? So just think about, right, fuck that, fuck the weight, forget about the weight. Am I actually getting a connection here with my side lateral? Am I swinging it up? Am I just on the floor bouncing up and doing my little toe raises while I'm doing it? Just get yourself on a bench, start at a 15-degree angle, use a lightweight, and feel like as if your elbow, like your wrists are gonna literally scrape across the side of the building, and just do them as controlled as possible. And your laterals will feel absolutely pumped to hell. So stop letting your ego get involved. Take the weight right down, strip it right back, and watch your side laterals and your delts just grow like hell.